You know that feeling, right? Opening a book. Maybe it's new, that crisp spine, or maybe an old favorite, pages all soft, the weight in your hands, that specific paper smell, and that quiet moment just before you, like, step into a whole different world.
Yeah.
When was the last time you really got lost like that, where everything else just disappears?
That's a great place to start. That complete immersion, some researchers call it narrative absorption.
Narrative absorption, okay.
Yeah, it's where the real world kind of fades back and you're just completely in the story or the ideas on the page. It's not passive, you know. It's a really powerful mental state.
It really feels like it. And just picking up a book, reading, it seems so simple, right? But it turns out, well, it's way more than just killing time. Our deep dive today is all about how reading, this thing we can all pretty much do, can be this amazing tool for finding joy.
Helping us escape when things get tough.
Yeah, exactly. And helping us learn, grow, and, you know, really supporting our mental well-being in the end.
It's fascinating because it really sits at that intersection of like leisure activity and genuine psychological benefit.
Right.
And there's so much evidence building now, academic studies, personal stories, all pointing to these tangible positive effects on our minds and emotions.
Absolutely. And that's what we've gathered up for this discussion. We've looked at a bunch of stuff, practical guides on actually how to build a reading habit, you know, in our crazy busy lives.
The practical side.
And then the science behind why it affects our mental health, some academic work on literature and empathy, which is super interesting.
Yeah.
And even just powerful stories from real people talking about books that didn't just entertain them, but like genuinely changed things for them, helped them through hard times.
So it's a real mix from the how-to of reading more to the, wow, reading can actually change my brain level.
Exactly. So our mission, I guess, is to unpack all these surprising ways reading affects us, backed by science, backed by experience, and maybe give you some ideas for how to harness that power yourself.
Okay, let's do it. Let's dive in. All right. So one of the first things that jumps out from pretty much everywhere we looked is reading as this vital escape valve.
Ah, yes. Escape. Definitely feel that one.
Right. In a world that's just constant noise, stress, information overload, finding moments to intentionally disconnect, find some peace, it's not really a luxury anymore, is it?
No, it feels like a necessity. And our sources kept saying that books have this unique knack for just transporting you. You could be in a loud cafe, totally stressed about work, but you open a book and suddenly, boom, you're, I don't know, hiking the Andes or solving a crime somewhere.
Yeah. It gives your brain that crucial break from whatever's pressing down on you right then.
And it's not just a feeling, right? There's actual research.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Studies have shown that reading, even for like 6 minutes, can seriously drop your stress level.
6 minutes? Wow.
Yeah, one study found a reduction up to 68%, which was apparently even better than listening to music or going for a walk in that particular study.
68%, that's huge for just a few minutes of reading. How does that work physiologically?
Well, the thinking is that the focus needed, you know, to follow a story or grapple with ideas, it pulls your mind away from those anxious loops.
Right, distraction.
Exactly. It forces your brain into a different gear. And just the rhythm of your eyes moving across the page can be quite calming, almost meditative for some people. Plus, if you make it a habit, say reading before bed, it can start to signal to your brain, okay, time to wind down now. Creates a good association, helps ease you towards sleep, maybe reduces that pre-sleep anxiety.
That's fascinating. So it's mental engagement, but also potentially a physical relaxation cue. And that idea of escaping into fiction, I mean, we all need that sometimes, right? One source mentions someone relying heavily on stories during a really tough time, like a safe harbor.
Yes, exactly. And it's important to see this isn't just like unhealthy avoidance.
Yeah.
Framed right, this kind of escape is actually a form of resilience.
Okay. How so?
It gives you headspace, a pause from chewing over the same worries. Think about kids having medical procedures. If they're distracted by a story or a game, their reported pain and anxiety go way down.
Oh, okay.
Fiction can do that for our adult minds too. It engages the imagination so much that it provides this temporary, maybe even healing distance from distress.
That makes total sense. It's like a temporary refuge, lets your nervous system calm down, not ignoring problems forever, but giving yourself space to breathe and reset. Maybe get some perspective on things.
Precisely. The key, of course, like any coping strategy, is balance. It's a tool for relief and maybe clarity, not, a permanent bunker.
Right.
But used intentionally, its power for providing that respite is pretty clear.
Right. So escape, stress reduction, huge immediate wins. But reading also helps us, learn, expand how we see the world, other people, which ties into well-being in a deeper way.
Absolutely. And one of the most compelling areas that came up was how reading, especially literary fiction, seems to significantly boost social cognition, our ability to empathize.
Okay, this is where I get really intrigued. How does just reading words turn you into a more understanding person? What's happening there?
Well, a big theory is called narrative empathy. The basic idea is when you get really lost in a story, you're essentially running a simulation of someone else's life in your head.
The simulation. Okay.
You feel what the characters feel, you think about their motives. It's probably the closest we can get to actually truly putting ourselves in someone else's shoes.
Kind of like that German idea, Einfühlung, feeling into something.
Exactly that. And the sources break it down a few ways. One is role-taking. When you're absorbed, you temporarily take on the character's perspective. You see the world through their eyes.
So you're practicing seeing things differently, like cognitive flexibility training.
Precisely. Then there's character identification. That's when you see bits of yourself in a character, feel a connection, especially if they're going through something tough. Even if you haven't lived it, reading about their emotional journey kind of builds your understanding for when you meet real people facing similar things.
So it helps you understand people like you, but also people who are really different. Broadens your, human vocabulary.
That's a great way to put it. And interestingly, the fact that it's fiction seems important too.
How so?
Because it's not real. There's this psychological safety net. You might be more willing to suspend your own beliefs or judgments and just consider another way of being without feeling defensive.
It's a low-stakes environment to explore complicated human stuff.
Right. And then, maybe the most crucial part, self-reflection. The work isn't over when you put the book down.
Okay.
Thinking about it afterwards, how it connects to your own life, your feelings, the world. That's how these fictional insights become, real and usable. Talking about it helps too. Book club, friend, even just jotting down thoughts.
That makes sense. It's not just passive intake, it's the processing, the integration. And some sources mention this has real-world applications, right? Like using stories to train empathy in certain jobs.
Yes, exactly. Potential for helping doctors understand patients better, or teachers relate to students facing tough situations like poverty or bullying. By reading accounts, fiction or nonfiction, that give them that perspective. It's powerful stuff, professionally and personally.
Wow, that moves it beyond just personal benefit into building a more compassionate society, potentially.
It does. But it's important to include the caveats that came up too.
Okay, what are those?
Well, this research is still developing. Some argue reading doesn't automatically lead to more empathy or action in the real world.
Right.
Understanding a fictional character whose thoughts are all laid out for you might be easier than understanding a real, complex person.
Good point.
And there's a worry that reading about someone overcoming a problem might give you a false sense of closure, like, okay, problem solved on page, I don't need to help real people. Passive empathy, maybe?
That's a critical difference. Feeling versus doing.
Exactly. And also, concerns about reinforcing stereotypes if the books aren't chosen carefully or read critically. So how we read, what we read, and the thinking we do after reading are all key to making that empathy connection meaningful.
Those are really important points. It's not a simple magic bullet.
No, definitely not. It's complex.
Okay. So beyond understanding others, there's also the very direct path reading offers for personal growth, self-improvement. Usually think self-help books here, but it sounds broader.
Much broader, yeah. The sources had so many compelling stories from people about books that really changed how they saw themselves or handled specific life challenges.
And not always like heavy academic texts or therapy books, right? People mention books helping with anxiety, panic attacks, giving them frameworks or tools, others finding clarity on tricky relationships, setting boundaries, finding ways to manage depression or boost confidence, even things like career changes or just practical stuff like procrastination or keeping the house in order when struggling mentally.
Yes, the range was huge. Certain ideas came up often. Stoicism for dealing with adversity, mindfulness, understanding attachment theory for relationships, communication techniques.
Right.
Even, like you said, seemingly simple books on organizing were cited as life-changing.
Yeah.
Because they tackle the underlying stress or overwhelm.
And it wasn't just self-help labels, right? People found insights everywhere.
Absolutely. Classic novels illuminating human nature, philosophy offering new takes on suffering, inspiring biographies, even history or science books that shifted perspective in a helpful way. Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning came up a lot. Philosophy born from intense experience.
Yeah, that's a powerful one.
It really highlights that growth isn't confined to one shelf in the bookstore. Insights can pop up anywhere if you're open. But the key, like you mentioned before, seems to be moving from just reading the information to actually applying it.
Ah, the application step.
Yeah, one reflection really stood out. Someone questioning reading too many self-help books, saying at some point you got to stop just collecting advice and start doing, practicing, trusting your own judgment instead of always looking for the next external answer.
That's crucial. The goal isn't just knowing more, it's being different, doing different, turning info into action, or a real shift in how you see things. And to even get to experience all these benefits consistently, the escape, the understanding, the growth you kind of need to make reading a habit first, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't just happen for most people, especially now. And luckily, our sources were full of practical, actionable tips for that, based on behavioral science and what avid readers actually do.
Okay, let's get practical then. What are some top strategies for making reading stick?
A really freeing one is give yourself permission to quit books you're not enjoying.
Yes, that's huge.
Seriously, stop seeing it as failure. Life's too short to slog through something that isn't clicking. Forcing it just makes reading feel like a chore, and that kills the habit fast.
Takes all the pressure off. What else?
Vet books before committing. Read reviews, summaries, listen to interviews, read the first few pages. Make sure it actually interests you. Also, embrace audiobooks. Huge for busy people, commuters.
Or just people who find it hard to sit still.
Exactly. Listen while doing chores, exercising, driving. You can even speed them up a bit once you get used to it.
Opens up totally different times for reading.
Totally. And for nonfiction, you don't always have to read every single word.
Really?
Yeah, if you're after the main ideas, practice scanning. Skip the long stories or side tangents if they aren't what you need. Be an efficient reader focused on value.
That's a game changer for dense books.
Also, set up your environment. Have book nooks. Leave books where you'll see them: couch, nightstand, kitchen counter.
Environmental cues, make it easy.
Right. Seeing the book as a reminder makes it the obvious choice. And always have your next book ready to go.
The book on deck idea.
Yeah, so when you finish one, there's no friction, no what now, decision fatigue. You just pick up the next one. Keep the momentum.
Minimize friction. Okay.
Tracking your reading can help too. Even just marking days on a calendar creates that visual chain like the Seinfeld method. Don't break the chain. It's motivating.
Ah, the don't break the chain thing. Simple but effective.
Exactly. And connecting with others helps. Find a reading buddy, join an online group, follow people with good taste. Sharing makes it more fun, introduces you to new stuff.
Community aspect, nice.
And hey, don't forget the library. Schedule a library visit. Free books, browsing discovery, helpful librarians. It's amazing.
Free books. Can't beat that.
And finally, try reading with a pencil. Underline, make notes, dog-ear pages. It makes it active, not passive. Turns it into a conversation with the author. Helps things stick.
Right, you're engaging more deeply. So it sounds like a lot of these are about making it easier and more motivating. But the core driver, as one source put it, is finding your personal why.
Precisely. Knowing why reading matters to you. Escape, learning, comfort, growth, whatever it is that's the real engine, that fuels the desire and the discipline to make it happen regularly.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive really highlights reading as, first, that crucial escape valve, a way to step back from the daily grind, even just for a bit.
Yes, essential breathing room.
And it's also this powerful engine for learning, understanding the world, other people, ourselves, by literally stepping into different perspectives.
Expanding our horizons from the inside out.
And maybe most profoundly, it can be a real path to personal growth, offering tools, insights, perspectives from all kinds of books that can genuinely help us navigate life better.
And all these benefits, they become much more real, more accessible, when reading is just a consistent part of your life, even small amounts, using some of those practical habit tricks.
It's about finding what works for you and weaving it in.
Exactly.
So thinking about all these different powers of reading, escape, learning, empathy, growth, how might choosing your next book really intentionally shape the specific kind of support or insight or transformation that maybe you need most right now?
That's definitely something to ponder as you reach for your next read.